Older.
The calm.
Yeah. We're going to have to set an example for us in this polling. We've taken a vote unanimously. Call the commission meeting to order, and Vice Mayor will have our invocation.
Shall we pray? Dear God, we thank you for this beautiful morning that you gave us with the bright snow and the beautiful weather that we had today. We appreciate you watching and guiding us, and give us all a safe journey home when we leave. We ask that you give us the guidance to do the city business. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker? Present. Commissioner Garver?
Here.
Commissioner White?
Here.
Vice Mayor Johnson?
Here.
Mayor Lamb?
Here. You had in your packet the January 19 commission meeting minutes. Are there any corrections to those that are required?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson?
Yay.
Mayor Lamb?
yay. You also had the workshop minutes of January 25. Are there any correction to those?
I make a motion to accept.
Second.
We have a motion and seconds to approve our workshop minutes. Roll call.
Commissioner Baker? Yay. Commissioner Garver?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson?
Yay.
Mayor Lamb?
Yay. Now's the time we set aside for our comments from our citizens. We welcome them. If you wish to speak with us, we would appreciate it. Just approach the microphone, give us your name and address.
Sam Schroesch, 4115 Stratton Lane. I was here last week and just wanted to say thank you for Ted looking into lowering the interest rate on the bonds from the 3.9 to 2.0%. Just want to tell you we appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll move on. Unfinished business, there is none, so we'll go to our new business. Our first item is the first reading of the ordinance 1090. Would you read that caption, please?
Construction appeals.
Mr. Marker will talk to us.
Afternoon. Once again, this is something I briefed the commission on last Monday night at workshop. We're looking at trying to implement a 3-member board of building construction appeals. That would be members that the mayor from the existing planning commission. So it wouldn't be just unfamiliar people. There would be people from the planning commission. The mayor would pick those individuals, the commission individuals, and it would be a 3-member board. And it would basically serve in a capacity in situations as outlined in the ordinance itself. If it's claimed that provisions of the code wouldn't apply, if more desirable installation could be employed, if my true intent or meaning of the code regulations have been misconstrued or wrongly interpreted, it would give someone a chance for their voice to be heard and for this board to consider those type of situations. We do have every 5 years, ISO does a evaluation or a survey, an update for our department in addition to the fire department. And in doing that, this would definitely help us where their rating is concerned. This would definitely help improve our rating as far as one of the things that they evaluate us on. So it absolutely help us and decrease the city's liability in situations where somebody might disagree with my opinion on something or interpretation of something.
Any comments or
Unimaginable as
questions?
that- I said unimaginable as that may be.
So I do have a question. So we've got 3 people on the planning commission that's going to represent this board. It feels like to me it needs to be a different group of people outside, independent of the city and the commission from that perspective.
There's nothing in the ordinance that says that have to be from the planning commission, is there, Andrew? I mean,
Well, I think in
oh, it
the.
does say.
Yeah, it does. In 12,
Yes.
1301.
Yeah.
And originally, that's something that I had mentioned to City Manager Rogers, and him, myself, and Kelly Martin. We actually had a dialogue, the 3 of us, and our concern with having it just members at large, not being part of this committee, would be the difficulty of trying to find people to serve in that capacity, being as this would not be a board that would meet that often. Maybe once a year, if that, maybe even every couple of years, could be every 6-8 months. It's really hard to know. It's hard to know because it would meet on an as-needed basis. And so to find people to serve in that capacity, knowing that they might not meet that often, we thought and all agreed that it would be maybe challenging to find someone that would be willing to serve in something that wouldn't really meet that all that often in a volunteer type position with those qualifications.
Andrew, can I tag on that?
Absolutely.
Vice Mayor, that's an excellent question. We definitely considered exactly what you said. The other concern that we had with that is, if you recall, in many years past, the Board of Zoning Appeals was 3 independent people. They hardly ever met. They hardly ever did anything. And when it came time to get that group of people together, not trying to judge them harshly, but when it came time to get that group of people together to rule on something, it was extremely difficult to inform them, keep them up to speed, get them to actually meet, because they hardly ever had a situation. So our recommendation for this is based on the fact, so we do not anticipate this board meeting hardly at all. But if we get people that are automatically plug and play on the planning commission that are already active, routinely meeting in the city's best interest, we feel it will be easier for them to be active, they're informed, they can maintain a base of knowledge, whereas 3 people over here that may or may not meet on a regular basis, we had a concern about that would they really be functioning well if the time came? So that's the logic behind our recommendation.
Commissioner White?
So I see a conflict in the ordinance. 1301 states the appointment of the members, 3 members from the City of Collegedale Planning Commission appointed by the mayor. But then 1302 describes the composition of the board, stating that 1 member, and it may not be a conflict as long as we have these people serving on the planning commission. 1 member, a state of Tennessee licensed engineer, 1 member at large from the building industry, and 1 member at large from the public.
All 3 of those are on the planning
Will they
commission.
always be though in the future?
No, but
We can certainly try to get those people on. That's
we
a good
will keep
point.
that in mind. I will add that to, I keep a paper people who wish to be on those, and the people who are on and their qualifications, make sure that that's on there.
Yeah, it's a matter of keeping up more than anything else.
Right, yeah, especially kind of limiting ourselves. So I kind of agree with the vice mayor there. I like the way 1302 is written. That seems like a good knowledge base, but I understand where you're coming from as well, Ted, that getting people to show up for something that doesn't meet very often can be pretty hard, so.
Yeah.
Well, one of the biggest dangers is as we all get involved in things that are going on, the pluses and minuses of different policy, procedure. If you have someone that hasn't been active anything in the city for 8 to 11 months, it's a lot of work to get them up to speed. Whereas if they're routinely meeting, I use the term plug and play, you know what I'm saying, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to any of the committee members. If they're plugging and playing, they are already up to speed on what's going on in the city. And so when they step into this role, just like the Board of Zoning Appeals does now, just like the Design Review Commission does now, but that's altering and going away, it's easier to get people that have a knowledge base that's up to date in to make a decision. But it's just our thinking, you guys can do what you think needs best.
Vice Mayor, are you thinking that sometimes if somebody's coming to the planning commission and then that they're the same people, if it's appeals group, the irony of seeing the
Yeah,
same people?
that's the only thing, I trust that we'll make truly the right decisions for the city.
It's the
And I'm not questioning ethically, but
We believe they will.
sometimes it feels to me, you hear about committees and stuff, and are people truly getting a fair shake on independent decision? That's the only thing I really questioned.
And I think it's something we'll probably want to do the way it's been laid out, but I can certainly see someone who doesn't approve or who disagrees with the decisions that have been made thus far, then to bring it back to the very same people, basically, because the planning commission is working with them every day, or, they're actually giving all the input into those people. So I think it'd muddy the water quite a bit, but I think it's probably still the best way to go.
Yeah.
And I don't see our current people being a problem.
Right.
I think if there's a transition of folks, that it could get to be different, and we can address that issue if it ever happens. But I think Andrew and his team are very capable of committee meeting very seldom.
Let me ask you, would there be items brought up that would have already been before the planning commission? And when they brought their plans or their ideas to the planning commission or design commission?
Yeah, and again, that might be more of a Sam question, in my opinion. If it's something that would be something that maybe the plan commission had considered, in my opinion, I don't think that board, if it was the same members, that they would be, how shall I say, able to rule in that situation if they already voted on a particular
It's two
issue.
different things.
Is it?
I mean, that's
Okay.
the bottom line. I mean,
Sure.
this board is to, I don't want to say second guess, but it is to provide an appeal right if somebody feels like Andrew's been a little too strict or is not reading the building code right and things like that. The planning commission's jurisdiction is entirely different, although it is our board of zoning appeals too. But that relates more to the interpretation of the zoning ordinance.
Correct.
And so we're talking about the interpretation of the building code on one hand and interpretation of the zoning ordinance on another. And it's apples and oranges.
Sam, a question for you and Andrew. So it's my understanding, perhaps I'm wrong, it's my understanding that this board that you're speaking of and wanting to create is more about construction principles than it is design principles, although the two can interlope.
That's correct.
So someone is appealing how to construct something versus how to design and what it looks like.
That's
For the
correct.
most part,
Yes.
which was one of the main reasons why I made that recommendation in the manner that I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
There is a difference.
That's why I got the kind of people on the board that the ordinance says need to be on the board of appeals. I move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance 1090. Roll call.
Commissioner Baker? Yes. Commissioner Garver?
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yay.
Mayor Lamb.
Yay.
Thank you.
Our next item is the first reading of ordinance 1091. Caption, please.
An ordinance amending municipal code section 1-102 relating to the order of business and the conduct of regular city commission meetings to add the recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance.
Any comments or questions on this?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance 1091. Roll call.
Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Garver,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yay.
Mayor Lamb.
Yay. Both of these will be on public hearings 2 weeks from tonight with a final vote. Our next item is the reports from our city manager.
Mayor Lamb, I have no report tonight. However, I did contact you and the city attorney and request an executive session immediately after this meeting.
Okay. Commissioner White.
Nothing tonight, so it's cold out.
You mean you didn't enjoy the snow this morning? Commissioner Garber?
Nothing except enjoy the Super Bowl.
That's
I
next
I
week.
cheer for the referees at this game.
And Commissioner Baker?
Not at this time.
Vice Mayor?
I do. I got two things. The first one has to do with Tucker Road. And that road sure is in bad shape still. It's, I know they got plates across the road now where it's sinking in, and the roadway itself has just deteriorated quite a bit. And it's muddy. They're not cleaning the road after these trucks come in and out. I've had a couple people comment about, how dirty it is. I know we've talked about them paving the road, but it needs to almost go down to the very sharp curve onto Tucker Road near Owl's Nest, because the whole road is just not built for that much weight. And I know that people say, well, they're not going out that way anymore. Well, yes, they are. I still see them. People call me because they've traveled that road quite a bit. And I just want us to be prepared to fight for this. This is something that the citizens of Collegedale should not have to pay for out of our pocket. And I don't know if there's anything else we can do. So when you're coming down the hill, where they've cut that huge bank west of Tucker Road, it's just really, it's just gravel basically now. So I'm not sure if you've been out there lately, Eric.
I haven't been out since this weekend. That section of the road will actually be gone with the new line. That sharp curve there before you get to the bridge, that will be completely gone with the new line.
Yeah, so on up then, where it's just, I think the pressure of the trucks have just really eaten away at that. And then there's just kind of like, I don't know, some of the white lines are just fading away. It's falling off and stuff. So just a concern I have about Tucker Road. And, if somebody's bringing it to me constantly, I think I have to share it.
Yeah, I'll make sure to take a look at it tomorrow.
But I will tell you, I did see 17 deer about where I'm talking about. They were up on the hill right there.
Travel across that road.
Yeah, and so apparently we're pushing them out with all this construction, as well as my neighborhood is seeing coyotes now, so.
We've met with the deer. We put up deer crossing signs. We can't get them to cross where the sign.
Did you put if you cross, then you can be, trespassers can be shot or anything like that?
I talked to the chief deer and he just said, no way.
So the other thing, I talked to Ted about this the other day. He asked me about the greenways and the meetings and stuff. I threw out a number to Ted, but I know that probably it's not going to be acceptable. But I think that we've had a meeting and we kind of identified 18 greenway projects. Some are small, some of them are more expensive. And every time I get weigh-in involved, it's up another $300,000 plus. So,
Isn't that his name?
and I just told him that, so I'm not saying anything he doesn't already know. But at least Talent Road and the Talent Park boardwalk that we've been talking about. It's on the project list. They are relatively expensive. I know that's a couple of years project and probably we need to seek donors. So I'm going to work with David Bartow as well on some sharing of the funds, if you will, so that we can get donors to donate some of this. But I would like to ask for the city to consider and the commission around $400,000 in the budget this year. I originally told Ted $750,000. I think he about fell out of his chair, but
I did.
I think 400,000 we could do. And Wayne, you can jump in. There's several projects we could do to have an impact on our community. So probably at the next workshop, we'll present some of those. I'm going to get together with the team again and Johnny that's representing the community because he is so actively involved and bring that to you guys and let you look at it. And it's up to us to decide what we want to do as a commission. So
Yes.
that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. I received a notice from the governor's office that starting tomorrow, February the 2nd, that all of the health departments will be giving vaccines for those 70 years and older. Unless you're fall into the first responders and all the essential workers and so forth. So just so that you know that that's here if you get some questions, and I will forward that letter to Christy so she'll have a copy of it. That's all I believe I have, so I'll adjourn this meeting
To
and
the
we'll go
training room.
into an executive
To
session,
the training room.
to the training room. See you in 2 weeks.